It seems the PS4 is not exactly off to a roaring start in China, and apparently, according to comments from Sony, a lot of that is down to the censorship. Now, the PS4 of course did go on sale back in March in China for 2,899 won, being about £307, with knack, Rayman Legends, Trials Fusion and Dynasty Warriors 8. There was also a couple of PS4 China focus games such as say King of Wushu and Mr. Pumpkin's Adventure. Of course, we've already known for a while that China lifted a 14-year ban on game consoles with the establishment of the Free Trade Zone. And well, obviously both Microsoft and Sony were kind of banking on this brand new market to kind of explode, like, hey, we can actually buy consoles now after a ban of 14 years. But according to Andrew House, it hasn't gone exactly as planned. When he spoke to Reuters, he said, quote, "We are still challenged somewhat with a censorship regime that we have to work with. This can be time consuming. I don't think it's been kind of a rocket launch start." Now, I think most people are aware that there's a lot of rules in place for what games can and cannot be sold in China, but perhaps not the ins and outs. So, the government's rules actually prevent the release of, quote, "anything that promotes obscenity, drug use or violence," which of course rules out a lot of games, including big blockbuster titles like, of course, GTA 5, and also anything that, quote, "insults, slanders or violates the rights of others" is also disallowed, and there's no gambling related things allowed at all. Now, there's also a number of extra things that will block content that would maybe upset some of China's interests. So, for example, anything that threatens their reputation or sovereignty or territorial integrity. Anything that runs contrary to its policy on religion is also out, and that includes anything that promotes cults or superstitions. So you're kind of getting a good idea of the laundry list of rules that they actually have in place. Now, DLC and expansions must also face approval, so if you're a Chinese gamer, you could be in the situation where the game you bought was fine, but the DLC for it might not be for whatever reason. Now, China's Ministry of Culture head, Kai Wu, had this to say, quote, things that are hostile to China or not in conformity with the outlook of China's government won't be allowed. We want to open the window a crack to get some fresh air, but we still need a screen to block the flies and mosquitoes." Now, obviously, these aren't the only factors in play here for both the PS4 and Xbox One. A couple of things that are also important to remember are the relatively high price of the console and the prevalence for the already established grey market, as well as a preference among them for PC and mobile games. But despite these troubles that the PS4 is facing in the region, Andrew House finished up by saying that he saw, quote, "tremendous potential for gaming as an entertainment medium in China." So they aren't giving up just yet, but having their hands tied by some very stringent rules is not exactly making their job any easier, but of course they have to go along with what the Chinese government is saying. So, not exactly a great start for the PS4, and I know the Xbox One hasn't exactly been setting the Chinese market on fire, but they of course did have a pretty decent head start on Sony over there, so I don't know how much longer they're going to keep up with it. Of course, it's got to be fairly expensive to actually, distribute and whatnot, but if they see potential, they'll probably keep at it for quite some time, so fingers crossed that both the Xbox One and PS4 can make a dent in this very new market indeed. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.